In the exam hall, you aren't just reading for content. You're scribbling against the clock, trying to process a dense passage while simultaneously rebuilding it into a completely different text format. This challenge is the focus of Paper 1, Question 3 for CIE First Language English. To master it, we need to focus specifically on the diary entry or journal format. Before you start, you'll need a few essentials. Text C from your reading booklet, the 3 specific bullet points from the prompt, and 3 different highlighters to categorize your evidence. We'll work through a structural template, identify the language features that define a professional response, and then apply these rules to a high-scoring model text. Following a set structure for the diary format helps manage the complexity of the task, converting a pressurized reading test into a clear, manageable writing exercise. The first requirement is visual. To convince the examiner you knowed format, your response must mimic the physical layout of an actual diary. This requires 3 specific anchors: a date at the top right, a Dear Diary greeting to open the entry, and a character sign-off at the very bottom. Beyond the layout, you need to establish a mental framework for the character. We call this VARP: voice, audience, register, and purpose. Voice means writing in the first person as a character from the text. Your audience is yourself. You are writing a private record that no one else is intended to see. Your register is semi-formal standard English, conversational but grammatically correct. Finally, your purpose is to reflect on what happened and process your character's feelings. Adopting the correct layout and VARP framework signals to the examiner that you understand the formal requirements of the diary genre. The exam prompt will provide 3 specific bullet points. Every mark you earn for reading comes from how you use information from the text to answer these prompts. Use a 5-paragraph structure: a short intro, 3 equal body paragraphs, and an outro. This ensures equal weight for each prompt. While using text evidence, never copy directly. You must paraphrase and adapt it into your own words. Balancing these paragraphs allows you to systematically address the entire prompt, maximizing your opportunity to secure marks across all 3 required areas. Once the structure is set, you need to refine the tone. Diaries follow specific grammatical rules that separate them from standard third-person storytelling. First, manage your tenses. Use the past tense strictly for recounting the events that took place earlier in the day. However, you should switch to the present tense when the character is reflecting on their current feelings as they write. Second, avoid direct dialogue. In a private diary, people rarely record word-for-word conversations with full quotation marks and dialogue tags. Instead, use reported speech. Rather than quoting a character directly, you summarize the interaction, explaining what was said from your character's perspective. To make this authentic, use a confessional tone. Use phrases like "looking back now" or "I can't believe that happened" to show internal reflection. This combination of mixed tenses, reported speech, and a confessional tone establishes a sophisticated register that distinguishes your work from a basic narrative. Let's look at how this functions in practice. We'll use a model response based on a student named Mark Zhang, who is writing after being wrongfully accused of a prank. This response uses the layout we discussed. It begins with a strong opening hook to set the scene, and ends with a consistent sign-off. The register is semi-formal and confessional. Notice the use of ellipses and rhetorical questions. These mimic the natural pauses of someone thinking on paper. The grammar is also disciplined. The writer uses past tense for the chaotic events at school and shifts to present tense to discuss their current state of mind. By layering structure, tone, and grammatical discipline, you transform raw reading comprehension into a high-quality piece of directed writing. The diary entry is a manageable task when you treat it as a sequence of steps rather than a blank page. Remember the core requirements. Include a date and greeting, write 3 equal paragraphs for the bullet points, use a first-person confessional voice, split your tenses correctly, and sign off. You can download this model response and the guided practice worksheets using the link in the description. Practicing this specific checklist will help you approach the directed writing task with clarity and focus on exam day.